Get here now.
Good lad.
No, stay there.
Yeah.
You're under arrest on suspicion of murder on the 10th of this month, November, in the Meadows.
Yeah.
Stand still. Stand still. I want you to raise your jacket up. Want to see if you've got anything. Turn around. Right. Walk towards me. Walk towards me. Stop.
November 10th, 2021. Michael O'Connor walks into what he believes is a peace meeting. Instead, he's butchered by professional killers in a swift, savage attack. His last words, "I think you've got the wrong person." But here's the twist that will chill you to the bone. Michael wasn't killed by mistake. He was killed by design, sent as a human shield by the very man who claimed to want peace. The man who made that phone call? Drug kingpin Colin McKenzie, who knew exactly what he was doing when he sent Michael to die in his place. What happened next sparked the largest organized crime takedown in British history, and revealed how modern drug empires operate like Fortune 500 companies, complete with corporate-level deception and military-grade technology. 8:47 p.m. Michael O'Connor's phone rings with the most dangerous call he'll ever receive. The voice belongs to Colin McKenzie, a 32-year-old drug kingpin who's just been released from prison and is desperate to reclaim his territory in the Meadows, Nottingham. But McKenzie doesn't sound like a criminal. He sounds vulnerable, reasonable, almost desperate. "Michael, I need your help." McKenzie pleads. "There's going to be a meeting tomorrow night. These people, they want to kill me. But if you go in my place, as my representative, maybe we can avoid bloodshed. You're respected. Everyone trusts you." Michael O'Connor was the kind of man who'd get up at 3 a.m. to talk a suicidal stranger off a bridge. 3 weeks before he died, he'd stopped a knife fight between teenagers by literally standing between them and saying, "You'll have to go through me first." His own mother used to joke, "Michael thinks everyone's redeemable, even the devil himself." What Michael didn't know was that McKenzie had already received intelligence about the meeting. This wasn't going to be a negotiation, it was going to be an execution. And McKenzie needed someone expendable to take his bullet. "I'll do it," Michael tells McKenzie. "If it saves lives, I'll be there." As Michael hangs up, he has no idea he's just agreed to his own murder. In a luxury apartment across town, Colin McKenzie smiles. The trap is set. Michael O'Connor has 25 hours left to live. While Michael spent his final days saying goodbye to his family without knowing it, Colin McKenzie was running what prosecutors would later describe as a criminal corporation with the sophistication of a multinational business. McKenzie's empire stretched from Nottingham to Birmingham, Manchester to London. But this wasn't your grandfather's organized crime. This was the evolution of drug dealing into something far more dangerous, professional, corporate, and utterly ruthless. His crew used EncroChat phones worth £3,000 each, the same encryption software used by MI6. McKenzie was so paranoid, he made his own mother communicate through encrypted apps when she wanted to see her grandchildren. This wasn't just business security, this was complete psychological control over everyone in his orbit. His lieutenant, 21-year-old Jezekiel Dennis, handled enforcement. While McKenzie played the role of sophisticated businessman, Dennis was the muscle who made sure debts were paid and rivals disappeared. But in November 2021, McKenzie faced a problem. Rival gangs Leonard Ward and Benjamin Taylor were moving in on his territory. Violence was escalating. His empire was under siege. That's when McKenzie made a calculation that would expose the true depths of criminal psychology. Instead of risking his own life in a gang war, he would use Michael O'Connor's reputation as a peacemaker to eliminate his rivals, and if Michael died in the process, that was just the cost of doing business. What McKenzie didn't anticipate was how this act of calculated murder would become the key to his own destruction. 10:20 p.m., November 10, 2021. Michael O'Connor parks his car in Wilford Crescent West, The Meadows. He's carrying no weapons. He believes he's about to broker peace between reasonable human beings. From the shadows emerge members of Benjamin Taylor's Manchester hit squad, professional killers who've travelled from Manchester with one purpose: eliminate Tremaine McKenzie. They've been planning this execution for days. Multiple escape routes, backup plans, military-level coordination. But the man walking toward them isn't McKenzie. It's Michael O'Connor, an innocent man sent to die by the very person who should have been standing in that street. The attack lasts seconds, but it's devastating. Savage. Professional. Michael collapses, mortally wounded, his final words echoing in the night, "I think you've got the wrong person." But here's the part that will haunt you: it wasn't the wrong person. This was always the plan. McKenzie had sent Michael to absorb the violence meant for him, calculating that Michael's death would either eliminate his rivals or give him the perfect excuse for retaliation. 20 minutes later, Tremaine McKenzie received confirmation that his human shield was dead. His response? He armed himself with a loaded pistol and went hunting for revenge, not for Michael's sake, but for his damaged reputation. Within an hour, McKenzie had cornered Paula Usherwood, one of the people involved in Michael's murder. He pointed his gun at her head and pulled the trigger. The gun jammed. Paula Usherwood lived. But that malfunction would become the key to bringing down McKenzie's entire empire. Detective Chief Inspector Rob Routledge thought he was investigating a murder. What he actually uncovered was a criminal conspiracy so sophisticated, it would revolutionize how British police fight organized crime in the digital age. Operation Haversack launched with unprecedented resources. But the breakthrough came from McKenzie's own arrogance. While his EncroChat communications were military-grade encrypted, he couldn't resist using conventional phones to coordinate his revenge mission. Every call McKenzie made after Michael's death was recorded. Every text message tracked. Every movement captured by CCTV cameras across 3 cities. The digital age had turned McKenzie's empire into a broadcasting network for his own crimes. But here's what made this case extraordinary. McKenzie's crew weren't just using sophisticated encryption, they were addicted to social media. Jezekiel Dennis, despite all his security protocols, couldn't resist checking his ex-girlfriend's Instagram stories. Those 30-second lapses in operational security created digital fingerprints that led police straight to the entire network. Within weeks, investigators had mapped McKenzie's entire operation. Not just the revenge shooting, but a multi-million-pound drug conspiracy involving heroin and crack cocaine distribution across the Midlands. The gun that jammed when McKenzie tried to kill Paula Usherwood? Forensics recovered the ejected cartridge from the street. DNA evidence. Fingerprints. Ballistics. Even the malfunction had left evidence. But the most damning evidence came from McKenzie's own communications immediately after Michael's murder. Text messages discussing retaliation. Phone calls coordinating weapon distribution. Digital conversations planning drug deals while a good man lay dead in the morgue. McKenzie thought his sophistication made him invisible. Instead, it created the most comprehensive digital confession in British criminal history. March 2022. Coordinated dawn raids across 3 cities. But this wasn't just about Michael's murder anymore. Operation Haversack had uncovered a criminal enterprise worth millions. Tremaine McKenzie was arrested not fleeing the country in some dramatic airport chase, but at his luxury apartment, surrounded by evidence of his double life. Designer clothes in the wardrobe. Encrypted phones on the nightstand. £50,000 in cash hidden behind family photos. Jezekiel Dennis was caught with a smartphone containing months of incriminating communications. His digital addiction to social media had created a trail leading straight back to their entire operation. But the most chilling discovery came from McKenzie's personal effects: detailed plans for expanding his drug empire, target lists of rival gang members, and messages discussing Michael's death as collateral damage in a business restructure. The sophistication that McKenzie thought would protect him, encrypted communications, corporate-style planning, professional operational security, had actually created the most comprehensive criminal case file police had ever assembled. In interview rooms across the country, they all gave identical no-comment responses. They thought silence would save them. The digital evidence spoke louder than any confession ever could. June 2023. Nottingham Crown Court. The first of two trials that would rewrite the book on prosecuting sophisticated organized crime. The murder trial was devastating. 9 defendants convicted for Michael's death, sentenced to more than 260 years combined. Benjamin Taylor and Leonard Ward, the gang leaders who actually carried out the killing, each received 32 years. But that was only phase 1. Because Operation Haversack had uncovered something bigger than murder, it had exposed the entire anatomy of how modern drug empires operate. September 2024. The second trial. Tremaine McKenzie finally in the dock, facing the consequences of his calculated decision to use Michael O'Connor as human shield. The prosecution's case was methodical and crushing. CCTV footage showing McKenzie pointing a loaded gun at Paula Usherwood. Audio recordings of him coordinating revenge attacks. Digital evidence of a drug conspiracy worth millions. McKenzie's defense team argued he was protecting himself from violent rivals. The evidence showed he was a calculating predator who sacrificed an innocent man to protect his criminal empire. Judge James Sampson's words cut to the heart of McKenzie's crime. McKenzie, it was inevitable that you and your gang would come into violent conflict with other groups dealing Class A drugs in the Meadows. You were willing to use a live firearm to further your cause. Your activities antagonized your rivals, which culminated in the tragic death of Michael Anton O'Connor. The sentences were devastating. McKenzie, 20 years and 3 months with 5-year extended license. Jezekiel Dennis, 10 years. Their associates, dozens more years behind bars. In total, Operation Haversack resulted in convictions carrying more than 350 years in prison sentences. A criminal empire that operated for years was completely annihilated. But the real victory wasn't the sentences, it was the message sent to every sophisticated criminal network in Britain. Your technology won't save you, your encryption won't protect you, and your corporate-style sophistication will become evidence against you. The Meadows estate today tells a different story than it did on November 10, 2021. Michael's sister Sarah captured it perfectly at McKenzie's sentencing. My brother died thinking he was saving lives. In the end, that's exactly what he did, just not the way any of us expected. The local shopkeeper who used to hide behind bulletproof glass? He now leaves his door open during the day. The children's playground that sat empty for months after the violence? It's packed every afternoon. The community center where Michael used to mediate disputes? It's named in his honor. But Michael's legacy extends far beyond the Meadows. Operation Haversack has become the blueprint for dismantling sophisticated criminal enterprises across Britain. The techniques used to crack McKenzie's encrypted communications are now being deployed against criminal networks nationwide. The digital forensics methods that exposed his drug conspiracy are standard procedure in organized crime investigations. Every gang that thinks military-grade encryption makes them invisible. Every criminal organization hiding behind business fronts. Every network that believes technological sophistication equals immunity. They're all being watched, tracked, investigated using methods that Michael O'Connor's case helped perfect. Detective Sergeant Steve Ellie said it best: "The events of that night revealed the brutality that gangs were prepared to use against each other. But they also revealed how modern policing can penetrate even the most sophisticated criminal organizations." McKenzie thought he was sacrificing one man to save his empire. Instead, he destroyed his empire to create a legacy of justice that will protect countless innocent lives. This case represents the collision between old-school criminal brutality and new-age digital accountability. Tremaine McKenzie believed that sophisticated technology and corporate-style organization would make his empire untouchable. He was catastrophically wrong. In the digital age, every criminal communication leaves traces. Every sophisticated plan involves human error. Every criminal empire broadcasts its own evidence to law enforcement. The message is unmistakable: there is nowhere to hide when your crimes are recorded by the very devices you think protect you. McKenzie's EncroChat system, the same encryption used by intelligence agencies, became evidence against him. His corporate-style planning created comprehensive case files. His digital sophistication became digital confession. Every criminal network operating in Britain today should understand: the more sophisticated your operation, the more evidence you're creating. The more technology you use, the more traces you leave. The more organized you become, the easier you are to prosecute. The war against sophisticated organized crime continues in communities across Britain. But Michael O'Connor's story proves that no criminal empire, regardless of its technological advantages, is beyond the reach of justice. Every criminal makes mistakes. Every digital device leaves traces. Every community can fight back when law enforcement has the tools and determination to penetrate criminal sophistication. If this investigation amazed you, hit that subscribe button. Next week, we're exposing the County Lines network that used military-grade encryption to coordinate child trafficking operations across 3 countries. Share this video to show how modern criminal empires really operate and how they are brought down. Let us know in the comments what signs of sophisticated organized crime you've noticed in your area. Remember Michael O'Connor. Remember that good people don't have to be sacrificed to criminal ambition. Remember that justice, no matter how sophisticated the crime, will always find a way. This is Crime Scene Chronicles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because in the digital age, every criminal broadcasts their own downfall. We just have to know how to listen.